Django can see some squirrels. Where's the squirrels, mate? Go on then, off you go. We're here to survive. We're here to review the damage. My goodness, what a blow we've had here. Okay, so the Dominator has slipped somewhere up here, I guess, because we've got some loose guys. Oh, I can see where it slipped. So the 4 signature irons are still in one piece. Well, one's on the floor over there, but that's intentional. A couple of these are a bit loose. And this one's come down a bit. Obviously the chairs are on the floor, on the ground. The tower was down intentionally because I was going to upgrade that. Oh, look at that. Oh, Django, stop getting in the way, mate. Dropped the tower down a while ago. And then the storm was predicted, so I just left it down. But these 9s are doing fine, look. No damage here at all. These are still the right tension. And the wind's dropping now. It's only gusting at 50. It was apparently at 62 miles an hour yesterday. I honestly thought I'd come down today and everything would be on the floor. There's an old classic on the floor here that's come off. That is about a 40 mile an hour wind I've got right now. I think this guy is a little bit redundant, look. I like building antennas. What I don't like doing is maintaining them. We've had a massive storm here in the UK. Well, we peaked here at 62 miles an hour. And what happens with a telescopic antenna when it's guyed, as it's forced over, the guys pull more and more downwards, effectively. So about a tiny bit of slippage here. You'd think I'd learn, wouldn't you, over the years? But this was temporary, and I didn't put one of these clamps here. Alright, so it's my own fault. But I happen to know Gina is packing some clamps right now. So we'll get some cutters and a clamp, pull it up, and that'll be that one done. Then we can drop the 12.4 down. The thing is, right, and people used to say this on the channel, I didn't believe them, is that everything you put up that kind of works becomes permanent, right? So even if you put something up temporary, it becomes permanent, right? So when you put something up temporary, make it permanent. Gina, I need a strap and a wing nut. Please, miss. One strap. I'll tell you what we do need to borrow. Look, I've borrowed the barcode cutters for a moment. Don't tighten these things too tight. I just heard a tiny crack then, but I've lost kind of the feeling in my hands. So anyway, right, let's get this thing back up and running. Oh, I meant to get some black tape while I was in. I should have a little shed out here, you know, black tape, set of spanners. All the basics, you know.
Home point updated.
Quick tip for today. Always make sure you know where your guy lines are so you don't trip over. I always do that. I've never tripped up yet. Right, now the 12.4, it slipped by just a little bit, only that much. I just don't know where. Now, I need to twist this, so rather than it going down that way, I'll be able to drop it this way towards the tower. Everything's fallen over in the storm. I can't find anything. Ah, here it is. a little worky horsey thingy. So I just need to unclip that. It's a one-way hinge, so I need to twist the hinge 180 degrees the other way. I'm glad I came up with this solution, because I've always thought it's a nightmare having to drop that antenna just to get this one down. So twisting the hinge around, I'm glad I never concreted that in now, because it's temporary, you see. Right, let's work out where this must have slipped, because that's 17 meters, that's fine. That's fine. Let me put the camera down, work it out, and I'll show you. So this was on really loose, and I think that's all it slipped by. Put it back in, nest it back together, and slam it out if I can. It wasn't at the top here, because 80 is still perfect here, but I am after an inch or so. It's not a problem, I'll just soak it up with a bit of tape, but I'd love to know where that was. Let's get it back up. Everything else is fine by the look of it. I had to tension them all up. Oh, about that much, the guys. Not as cold today, but a bit drizzly. So this is kind of day 3 of this kind of fixing the hurricane problem. So I've noticed that when I built the 80 meter element, it was always a little bit low, like down at 3.7. And when I'm using the vertical, I want it right up to near 3.8. So we'll change that, and while we're at it, we'll change the 10 meter element. That's resonant at about 27.5. So I use my SWR calculator to calculate that I need about 1 meter, about 3 feet off the fold back of the 80 meter element. I'm not gonna, haven't got the balls to do that. We'll take off 75 centimeters, which is about 2.5 feet. On 10 meters, I do need about half a meter. So we'll do that. I need to put the camera down somewhere. So we will fix finally these chairs, and I can put you on a chair, look. And I'll try not to trip over the guy lines today. Oh, I forgot the blooming chair. The other way I can fix this, of course, is by removing a couple of turns on the coil, but this is 80 meters, goes all the way to the top. It just comes back a wee bit. I've got it on shock cord at the moment here, but I'll just measure and cut 75 centimeters and use tape. My famous calculator. Well, there's 80 to there, so that's ideal. In fact, there's 75 to that place. 65 or 80. We'll cut at the 80 point. Funnily enough, I've just seen a join here, so I had it right to start with. Let me just wipe that, give it some extra tape before I cut it, if I can find something to handkerchief, unused hanky here, get some of the moisture off. Alright, now we've got to work out where the hell 10 is. For some reason, I didn't mark my elements when I remade this. So I'm going to have to work out what everything is. Funny, before I used that SWR calculator, it was just a spreadsheet. I used to have to go on the calculator every time I wanted to make a change. It's so good. Alright, so this is 10 metres. I'm going to chop, I can't remember what the calculator said, but we'll go 50 centimetres. In all honesty, I never actually finished tuning 10. I was probably just being impatient, you know. So I just need to take off, what did I say, 50 centimetres. Let's cut it now. But cut the fold back, not the element, Mr. Callum. Okay, so it's just above here. Not the prettiest join I've done. But this is coming down soon. We're putting the 18 up. But that should give me a tune on all bands. And I seem to remember 20 was a bit long as well. Was it short? But does it matter? I don't think so. Probably been like that forever, you know. Right, I'm not standing on the guys, no. Lovely. Oh, done. And that is a bit loose. Lovely. Oh, we can go back in now and just check 80. If I can get it at 3.75 or above, you know what I mean. It was just pretty high SWR, which the Acon 2000 doesn't give a stuff about. But everybody on the channel does when I live stream. Oh yeah, SWR's a bit high. Yeah. I can see on the scope here that there's nothing really going on. But if I hit the PFA button, that gives me 16 watts out the back. And my SWR has definitely got better further up. I'll just see how far it goes. Okay, starting to creep up. 3.78, yeah, starting to creep up. So I've got from 3.66 to 3.78 at about 1.5 to 1. So I could have taken more off. All right, there we are. 28.7 is perfect. Well, I've come down 100 kilohertz. Get out of the way of him. And I've actually pushed it a bit too high. So my SWR, you can see that top left, can't you? 28.2 is 1.5. Okay, so in fact it's fairly just at the bottom end. So it just sits at 28 megahertz. It sits about 1.5 up until about 28.4, and then it starts to come down. All right. Interesting enough, does it go all the way up to FM? Nearly. You need your ATU button, really. But there we are. Okay, so both fixed. What tips can I give you? Well, genuinely, if you've got a blooming hurricane about to turn up, drop your any antenna, you know, not just DX Commander, drop it down. Because, you know, I mean, hey, you're just, like I was, you're just asking for trouble and you need a little bit of tinkering. Or worse, you know, it can snap like a twig. Anything can snap like a twig. As we know, I was watching the news, you know, trees were coming down, bridges were being blown over, roofs were coming off, walls, fences and everything else. And then, you know, what's going to happen next? Your little DX Commander might get blown over as well. So I think the moral of the story is, if you've got a known hurricane or known storm do something about it. All right, but anyway, I fixed all mine and I'm perfectly happy. So there we are. I will see you next time. We've got some interesting videos coming up, so make sure you subscribe and hit that bell. So enjoy your radio. See you next time. Bye for now. It's just for the camera. Got it on the hook it, you see. Remember, I just hooked it on. Done. And that is a bit loose. Lovely.